Ready, Marissa? Okay, it's 4:30 or close enough. I'm going to go ahead and call us to order. We do have a new board member representing Strawn. They'll be here, but they said they'd be a few minutes late. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes of the last board meeting? Are there any additions or corrections? If not, is there a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Tyler, seconded by Lila. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Did you have anything you wanted to point out on the claims? I went through them and it looked pretty basic, but I didn't see anything that...
There's only the one thing I have marked, the other payment to Baker Tilly. All of that, it was marked in red out to the side of the profit loss. Because it looks like there's a lot for miscellaneous, but that's Baker Tilly. And then once we get the bond money, we'll be paying ourselves back for that.
Okay.
I just been trying to keep track of those payments.
Exactly.
I remember there was one that said, Jeffrey, other company or something, other code. On the page that I've got missing again. It's right here somewhere.
It's a transfer.
Yeah,
It's just depreciation.
Yeah.
It was a transfer to depreciation. We do that.
It just said
Every month.
It just
Every
says
month.
some of the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just says expenditure depreciation fund. Are there any other questions or comments on the claims? If not, is there a motion to accept the claims as presented?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. And John, you want to bring us up to date? We'll go ahead and do this. It will be officially the second reading of the rate ordinance. Is that correct?
Well, you're going to call, technically, you're going to at least have the minutes reflect that you called it, opened a public hearing, and that there were no members of the public here, and then you can show the public hearing closed.
For the second reading?
Well, that the public hearing is a separate matter. So you have to have a public hearing before you can take any final action. And that's why we published notice in both the Courier Times and the Rushville Republican, a public hearing at 4:30.
Our minutes reflect that we had the first reading last month.
Correct.
So tonight is the second reading. So at this time, there are no members from the public present for the second reading.
Right. So the public hearing is an opportunity for the public to come in and say whatever they want to say. It's separate from the second reading, what we would consider the second reading.
To make sure that reflects separately, or?
The minutes that you take tonight need to reflect that there was a public hearing, no members of the public appeared.
Okay, so should I call a separate meeting then for the?
Yeah, you can just say, I mean, it sounds silly since there's nobody here,
I know.
but you can say, you know,
But
we'll open the public hearing. Are there any members of the public that wish to speak? Nobody's going to say anything, and you say, okay, we'll show the public hearing closed, and then you can take final action on the ordinance.
all right. At this time, we'll go into our public hearing of the second reading of the rate ordinance for the rate increase. Are there any questions or comments? And there's no members from the public that are present at this time. So we do need to make a motion to move forward with the rate increase.
Right, so there's no members of the public here, so you can take final action on the rate increase. I believe since it's a rate increase, you'll suspend the rules and pass it on the second reading, because otherwise it would require a third.
All right, so at this time, we will pass the rules on the third reading. Is there a motion at our second public hearing to adopt and it is ordinance number 2025-10-1 for the rate increase. Do I have a motion to move forward with the rate increase?
Since I started this thing, I'll say I make a motion to move forward.
Motion made by Irv. Is there a second? Second by Dwight. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And we don't know when that will go into effect yet, because that would be, of course, ASAP, but we have to go through Keystone and have them do what they gotta do to change the numbers. Is that paperwork still going around? Zach, you want to bring us up to date and fill us in on the Fort Wayne conference too?
So, Tom and I went to the Fort Wayne conference, conference that had 6 classes both days. There's an opportunity to get some classes that got there early on Tuesday. But all in all, good classes. Learned quite a bit. Got to do some talking to suppliers and kind of trying to see what changes we can make for saving costs in future. And then I'll kind of go into some of what I got from that. So I talked to one of our pump distributors from the past that supply our grinder pump. We've had numerous issues with these grinder pumps lately, and what we've run into is these panels are basically obsolete. We can't even get the parts to repair the panels. We have been able to get on Amazon and find parts here and there to keep them going. But what we're running into is railing and other parts of these wet wells are falling apart. So I actually had that supplier come out. We looked at a couple panels. She is actually in the process of giving us some quotes for new panels to see what it costs to just update them. That way we have updated parts in there, so instead of that, we can actually replace it. She got those quotes in today. She was on some other business stuff that she tried to send it to me tomorrow or Thursday. So kind of our options there is look at the quotes for the panel replacement and stay with these Meyer style grinders, or do we go and talk to Gorman and Rudd and switch them over to E1?
How many do we have?
There are 5 in the system that are Myers. But most of them are original on the Myers.
So, if I may, what's the primary issue with the grinders? Is it in the panels or is it actually in the mechanics themselves?
The main issue is in the panels, but you're also with the older style grinders that are in there. We can update panels and keep them going, and then when the pumps eventually die, I mean, we're looking at replacing them there again, and then we bring into where railing that holds the pumps are starting to separate from the wall. Those parts are rare to come by anymore. Alicia said she was going to talk to one of her other distributors who might have secondary market versions of those rails. But I mean, we can either, start at panels and go from there, or just look at replacing one at a time.
Do you have any idea how much one would cost?
As far as the Meyer style, not until I see quotes. Yeah.
So how old are the ones we got now?
Most of them that are in there, the Meyers are probably roughly, the panels and everything are all from 93, 94, the original installs.
So they're 30 plus years old.
So what's the new one estimated?
I have no idea until I see a quote. Yeah, we've not ordered any panels.
I know they're expensive.
And it just, she said that, if we want to do a 5, they can do a bulk order of 5, get them cheaper. And then I kind of questioned if we did just, buy one up front, like they get the 5 in at that price, and we buy one up front, have them come, go through the install with our people, and then we'll order the next ones, the rest of the 4 over the next few years, and start installing them unless one just fails, and we'll have to order it. And then we'll install them ourselves once they're shown how to do it. So they didn't know if they would be able to do the group buy like that to save the money, but
It would be worth it to see if it would be a substantial savings. It
Yeah.
may or may not be, but it sounds like we're gonna have to gear up to start replacing those grinder pumps.
there's one over in Gunreath that is a duplex, so it's 2 pumps handling multiple houses that feed to it. And then we have another one here on 3rd Street in Louisville that has 2 houses on it. So those are the ones that are a little more urgent to update.
Yes.
I would start with this one in here, in 3rd Street, because that's one we're having the most issues with. Guys have been out there probably 4 to 5 times in the last 3 weeks. Some of it is due to debris in the wet well, and we're sending a letter out tomorrow to address that issue.
Okay.
So,
do you want to go ahead and get quotes for the next board meeting?
yeah, she's supposed to send them to me the next day or 2, and then I want to talk to Women Up, go ahead and price a whole E1 as well, see what it would be, if it's cheaper, because I know at Spiceland, there's 2 houses that go to one. It used to be Meyer, and they pulled out and dropped an E1
Okay.
in it, so that possibility is there too. So I need to talk to them and see price-wise what's going to be more cost efficient and in the long run what's best for us.
Okay.
Also looking at more cost savings through, so with Colligan right now, we have a water softener out here. We have a rental purchase agreement with them basically that covers service. We're paying $320.50 per year.
I didn't realize that.
So I got online, just a quick little check. I mean, that was installed in 2007 too, so you think we're paying $320.50 since 2007 for this water softener. I can go to Menards right now, buy the 48,000 grain AquaSure water softener for $5.99. There's a $6 rebate, so you're $533.99 in on the new water softener.
$88 too.
Yes.
That's just for the office, right? I mean, you
Yeah,
don't,
it's just for the.
you don't soften any water.
No.
Okay.
So that's
I figured for
a
it.
long-term cost savings. I think we
I
need to
didn't
jump on,
realize
go ahead and
we were
do.
leasing anything like that.
I didn't either until she showed me that paper that it was.
And well water softener is 25 years old.
So I mean, yeah, it's still working, but we're in a $320 contract that we're paying yearly with.
This would take
2 years of
yourself
that,
a
yeah.
year and a half.
Yeah, it'd be paid for, we own it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna service it, do all the work in-house anyway, so,
Okay, yeah, do that.
okay. Check on that. Nobody from Gonzalez is here, so.
No, we did receive a letter from Dan, though. He said that he feels like we're still ready to move forward with the
Yeah.
late winter, early spring.
So he was under the assumption that the board meeting was last Tuesday, informed him that it was not, it was actually this Tuesday, and I was hoping to be here because I had some questions
Yeah,
that we need to figure out. So we've had these head pressure issues with Dunreef where it's never pumped where it's supposed to. So with this new line that we're putting in, and when it attaches to the force main, that's going to be even more head pressure. So Dunreef could possibly struggle even more. So we need to.
I thought we
get with-
were bypassing Denver.
We are bypassing it, but it's going in after Dunreef, which is putting more head pressure on the pump from
Oh, I
Dunreef.
see.
So I need to get with them and have them get with Covalent and them and try to figure out how they can fix this head
Before we have an issue.
issue, because it's going to make it worse. Even though
Yeah.
we're taking some of the flow off of Dunreef, we're adding more head pressure, so it's
Okay.
going to pump less than even what it does now. That was another thing. I talked to them at the conference, and that's where I kind of informed them what the initial project might be and some issues coming up with it. So obviously have Gonzalez contact them and start working through that
Yeah.
and see what we can do. And then last, so this year alone, we've had multiple connections from different customers. We've had issues with them not following our sewer ordinance on hookups. So, they're supposed to first pay your tap capacity fee, fill out the application and all that.
How does that slide through? I mean, how does it get overlooked?
They basically say they're gonna do this, yeah, we're gonna pay it, and then next thing you know, it's already installed, backfilled, so not only do we not get to inspect it, they still have not even paid their tap capacity.
They don't have to go through planning and zoning or health department or anything?
They do, but they're getting, once again, permits without having.
So do we need to address that with the health department? Because we had to do that in the
Yes,
past.
I've done that once, and I've talked to them, and I even sent him our papers that we were not to give out construction permits
Exactly.
until you see this document handed you from us with this on it, and obviously that did not.
Can you CC planning and zoning on that too?
Can add them. But my thought is to prevent this in the future, we need to look at our ordinance. I know with treatment and everything else, we have ordinances where if they don't follow what our guidelines are, that we can fine them up to a certain amount. So I don't know if that's where we need to move to, if people are not going to follow rules and regulations on the hookup to the system with getting your permit first and tap capacity fee before you start construction, and then letting us come inspect it before it gets back.
How many customers would this impact?
Anybody going on our system in the future? Yeah, we've had 4 or 5 this year, but we've had 2 that we had issues with as far as getting the tap capacity fee and all this stuff in place before they started construction. So
How did you deal with that though?
you basically go out and talk to them, tell them they need to come in and pay it, or you're going to shut them down.
Do you think we need to send a certified letter and give them like 30 days to comply before we implement a fine?
Yeah, but we don't have it in our.
It's not, I'm saying we need to install something in our ordinance
It's
to
not
be able to
there.
put this into operation. If they're not going to comply with what they've been told from the start of the planning to even do a project, if they're not going to follow that, if they delay
I
on
agree.
the payment,
I agree.
or if they backfill without inspection, all that, there's, a fine of up to $200 or, whatever amount we see fit for it. That's what I would say, like up to a certain amount.
Yeah.
And
What do
depending on
you
the
think,
severity
John?
of the
How
issue,
should
what we would choose,
proceed
what
on
we find.
So is that on the new builds? Is that on the new project?
That would be for any new connection to our.
Okay, so like the ones that we did up in Dunreach for the ISIS and all of those were copacetic, right?
They came in.
Yeah, they came in and did everything
Okay, so
correctly.
that's the reason I'm asking this, because I know that Scott, if he knows you need an inspection, he'll schedule you in.
We get there.
So a lot of it is they're just not coordinating with the health
Communication.
department to
Exactly.
schedule.
This
what
has
they
been
need
an
to do.
ongoing issue
Yeah.
for a long time.
Basically what it's come down to is, we had some stuff built and there's still no tap capacity fee paid, from my understanding. And she's said 10 times, you come and pay it, and you have to do this, so.
Should the health department recognize a paper or something before they?
That's what I sent out to them probably, when we had the first issue,
Well, it would be
This year.
the planning.
but it'd be the planning commission, I sent them the document of our permit that shows they paid the tap capacity, we signed off on it. That's when he's supposed to give them their construction permit, but obviously that didn't.
How can you expect that?
It's not the health department, it's the planning commission.
There's no come back to them?
There should be, but I think we're in a situation where we've had a turnover of people, which is lack of communication, things don't get passed on. And, yeah,
So, yeah, I think we just need to look at our ordinance and adopt something in there that basically a fine for non-compliance of install or inspect.
can you look at that, John, in the
Application.
next month and come up with a recommendation?
Well, really, I need you guys to come up with like what
Yeah.
what the issues
exactly.
are and the fines, and then we can put it into an ordinance and then put it before the board. And then, you know, we may be able to reach out to, I want to say SHRWD as the planning commission attorney, and send him, you know, we should put him on notice in a nice way to start that, hey, we're having this issue, and sounds like the planning commission is the problem, and you'll have to probably explain to me a little bit process-wise what needs to happen and just make sure that they're doing it.
And I mean, it's just not on the planning commission, it's on the homeowners themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, because we verbally told them.
Yeah, when we
most
give
of
them the sewer ordinance hookup paperwork that explains everything, it says, Mayor, you know, it has to be inspected before backfill, you know, the tap capacity fee and all that's supposed to be paid first.
Right.
And
To
it's
see-
being bypassed.
So it's like when you get, your building permit, you have to have something from the health department about your septic. It's the same concept when you're hooking to the sewer, whether it's in town or outside town, wherever you're hooking up or doing a septic, you have to have a permit from the health department.
Right.
So when the health department isn't involved, and it's either Newcastle or us, they have to have something, and they're just not,
Yeah.
they're either just verbally telling them, or they're not even asking. I don't understand. how
It's
you-
falling through the cracks.
Right.
We need to nip it in the bud.
The sewer connection tap capacity fee and our paperwork is our approval that we have capacity to handle this extra flow. So when people just keep hooking on without doing stuff correctly, like they're basically getting permits to start work that we've not approved that we could even handle it. So,
And you need to be able to do that final inspection.
yes, the final inspection's huge because we need to document how it's laid out and put that on the permit itself. So if I don't have a permit to
Exactly.
fill out, how can I even do the whole?
I wasn't aware
drawing,
that
how
was
it's
an
laid out and
issue.
stuff. So
It's been an issue in the past.
we've had one earlier this year, and then we have one currently that we're looking on, trying to get it corrected. So outside that, we are, you know, maintenance guys are doing excellent. We're starting to really get everything in-house now. We've basically to the point where we're in preventative maintenance now. So no more fix on failure, it is preventative, so they're not getting called out. And, you know, going through and really deep diving into these panels and pumps to prevent issues. They've actually done a lot of wiring and stuff inside these panels to update them and fix them, so we're doing great. That's really all I have.
Crane, new truck.
Okay, so, obviously we bought the truck, we needed a crane for it, so I was able to contact Redding. They were one of the only ones that would do the fabrication on that bed, being they're the supplier of the bed. So, we contacted them, they gave us a quote for $1,000, that's for the crane and installation. We went ahead and did approve that, it's set up. They called me back today, the crane is in, we were gonna take the truck on Thursday and drop it off. It is not scheduled for install till December 2nd, but they said if they get a gap to where another project rating falls through, they're gonna slide us in to try to get the truck back as quick as possible.
What type of warranty will that include?
I believe that crane and everything, I had to pull that paperwork in, I wanna say it was a 7-year warranty on that crane.
Okay.
So, it's basically a duplicate new version of what was on the old truck, so. And then kind of discussing options of what we're gonna do going forward. Obviously the 1500 is starting to show age, 117,000 miles, it's getting wear on it. So we considered if we can take, once we get the service truck back, I want to take the plow off the old service truck, and then see if we can take the 1500 and the old service truck, try to sell them together, or trade them in together, and go ahead and get an updated other truck. Probably not gonna buy brand new like we did with the service, but if we can get something fleet-wise that similar, kind of matches it, we want to stay in that 250 size vehicle. That way, if someone's out in the service vehicle and they're working, if we have a power outage, we have to pull this towable generator, we'll be able to pull it with the other secondary truck instead of having to pull them off a
Is
job.
Spiceland the place we need the generator for?
Spiceland is the main one we need that generator installed for, because they're the only one that has city water.
Okay.
So we are in works to get the standalone generator there as well. But in the meantime, you know, we need to be able to pull this one, but also in other areas when there are power outages, even though if it's on well, we could still get I&I and the well could come up to where we'd have to go pump that out with the portable generator. So we need to be able to tow that separate if we have multiple issues going on at once. So that's kind of the direction we're looking at. I want to take the plow off the old service truck and we'll put it on the 250 instead of that service truck.
Right.
That way it's less wear and tear and less going on that vehicle as far as weight. So then we'll be able to plow with the 250 and then also be our secondary maintenance vehicle and our air and
Okay.
truck.
Anyone have any questions about any of that? Anything? What do you got first, Marissa?
So I know we signed my bond already, but McAllen told me that we're switching companies.
And I was gonna bring mine, I didn't understand it.
So,
And that looks like mine.
yeah, so, the bond that you already signed, I never recorded, but I did already pay for. So McAllen's canceling that bond, we're supposed to get the money back. They want it to go through the new company that we just switched all the other insurance to, because we never had, like, everything, but they want everything through the
I
company.
didn't understand the bond for
So,
anything. Where do we even sign?
I don't know.
I was gonna ask John if he understood it. Because I was totally lost.
Do have one other thing too.
Okay.
So as far as cost savings, I also talked to a vendor at Fort Wayne about a different fee to keep our
Yeah.
ORP and smoke points down in the system. Currently, with this year, we're at $45,000 in Nitronox. On the
Oh,
budget
wow.
This year. So 5 shipments, $45,000 roughly is about where it was.
That reflects a big increase in price or the usage?
That is the increase in price. We've had the same amount of shipments each year. They did shift companies to Cisco from the previous company that they were under. They basically sold the company to them. Prices kind of slightly went up a little bit year by year. So I talked to another vendor. There's another product where it basically come in 5-gallon buckets and there'll be a drip feed. But the only issue is it is not temperature tolerant like the Nitronox, so it'll have to go in a heated cabinet. So we might be able to take our existing cabinets, put a heater in it, put that whole drip system in that. They say you go through roughly a bucket a month, and I think those buckets were under $500. So in the long run, we would break it down to where we're only feeding from 3 stations.
Would that be a significant savings?
That's where I'm in the process of just diving into that.
Because it sounds like a lot of hassle.
It may be a lot of hassle, but it's $145,000 a year.
Yeah, because you're looking at $6,000 a year for one.
Yeah, that could be substantial right
You
there.
know, and if he can, that's.
Currently, we would need it at 3 areas. If the reroute project goes through, we would add a 4th, because then Spice would need it. Currently, it's feeding from all those, but I think if you go from here,
Yeah.
you're feeding off this to Plain J, and then Spice on to Dunry Thin, and then obviously Strawn in. But we might be able to alleviate.
Spoke to.
I'd have to go pull that paperwork. It was just something kind of last minute I just thought of, but I mean that could be a pretty good cost savings
Yeah,
in the long
check
run
it
if this
out.
works out.
Check it out.
We could literally cut our chemical costs in half for the odor control. But this product also feeds
Right here, 'cause
as
that's
it
all we
works
did
down the
here.
line, so break up any
That's fine.
hardened
Yeah, this looks like just
grease
like what I got.
or
Did it
debris
come
that bellies in the
certified?
line. It'll actually feed on that.
I found
And
it in
it'll
my
supply the
front yard.
blood once it comes in.
Flew out of my
Feed
front door.
the treatment. Still very initial stages of it. I talked to that guy
of the bond.
at Fort Wayne, and then he told me a week and a half or so ago, and we kind of went over how it would be laid out, and he was supposed to throw a little more numbers together and get back with me, so I'm still waiting on that as well. But there could be a significant cost savings there as well.
Okay. Yeah, we need to really start watching every penny.
Yeah, it
I
seems
know
like every
that
week
was
we're finding
going to
something where we can, not always, we can't just do it this way we've always done in the past. We
Yeah.
Start looking at, where can we
different ways.
do the same process with a cheaper
Yeah.
supplier or cheaper product, so.
But I know what you mean about, parts for stuff. I had to buy a new washing machine last week because they couldn't get one little part. He said, wasn't gonna happen, so.
Unfortunately, when it comes to these panels, it's an ever-changing game. There's always new products, so a lot of these older ones are getting phased out, so to get parts almost anymore on a lot of this.
They're obsolete.
One of my thoughts is the cost for the Band-Aid application is starting to
It is.
Even to find
override
a
the
small
necessity to do
contactor for
something
these
else.
panels. We
At some
can't,
point, we just gotta fight the bullet.
can't get them, we can get updated versions of them, but then we have to reconfigure the panel again to fit in there, because they're bigger or smaller, however they're set up. But then, you're 4 to 7 weeks waiting on that part from certain companies. So it's like, if we update and get to this new one, then those parts are more readily available to service these panels when there are issues.
This is the signature so Marissa can file her bond. Just sign under my name.
Is this a better company or not?
We don't know. I bet.
We just pushed all of our insurance to them. We've never had a bond made off of the same insurance that we have for our liability and everything. But McCowan, apparently this is something they're wanting to do, so.
They did the same thing for the township. That's who I got through.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta sign under my name.
Oh, yeah, because it's gotta get.
Everybody's gonna sign under there, so right, yeah, so it can get recorded at the courthouse. Yeah, anything else we need to do in the year stuff?
Hold your hand, help you keep this on.
The uncollectible,
Oh, yeah.
the only thing that I had. for-
Did you guys receive for 2025, and this was brought up by State Board of Accounts in the last audit, these are all 2 or more years older. On the uncollectibles, it should have been in your packet. The total amount is 1428.23. And after all this time, well, we can't send some of these to Atlas because of deceased or.
Or they don't have an application.
Yeah, can we fix that application part somehow?
Well, the only problem is sometimes by the time I find out that it got sold to somebody else, so they've already sold it to somebody else. Like a bank foreclosed on it,
Yeah.
and then they've sold it, like at the same time. So
What about Montgomery Steakhouse? Is
that was the
related?
bank, no. That was the bank that they went through bankruptcy, and it went through 2 banks. So that was the bank that skipped over in here because nobody contacted me, and by the time I found out that it was them, they had already shoved it off to a different one.
But actually, that's a small amount in
Yes,
consideration
because they did
the
pay a
monthly
bunch.
payment, yeah.
They did pay a bunch.
Yeah, I was just surprised to see that.
Yeah, that's just one that slipped through that during all that bankruptcy and back and forth.
So to help Marissa clean up the books, we really need to have a motion to absolve our uncollectibles that are listed here.
I make a motion that we, sign off on the uncollectibles.
Any other questions? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign.
And then when I do the end of the year stuff. then I'll
Yeah.
take those off.
Seems like there's one something, but I don't know what it would be.
I have some checks that will need to come off too.
Yeah, we will. We can do that.
We can do it next month.
Yeah, we'll have to do that next month.
I think, yeah. Because they weren't accounts that I think off of, because they're a little bit faster their time.
And we have 2 board members whose terms are up this year, is that correct?
Just one.
Is it just one?
Lila.
Okay.
Next time you do that.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I am going to resign as of December. And I'm going to travel and do some other things. And I've tried to be here every time. And now it's time to do something else. And I've really enjoyed it, and I like it that this group studies what they're going to vote on. Because that's not always the case. Sometimes you just come in and vote, everybody says so, let's do it. And you think about what you're voting on, and that's important. And I think it's important that everybody goes ahead and learns more every time. And I appreciate that. So, all I've got to say.
You'll be here next week?
Yes, I'll be here December.
And you're gonna let Spikeland Town Board know that they need to
Yes, and that's the other thing.
reappointment.
I have approached a guy that is interested in doing it. His name is Tracy Neal. Do any of you know him? He is a plumber with Chapman. And I thought that would be a good fit because he already knows some of the plumbing stuff and would know how to vote better than just anybody. So I'm going to ask the town board tonight if they would pay him. Because you'll have a young man, he thinks probably. I don't know for sure because, people look alike. And some people look younger than others too. But anyway, I think he might be a good fit for you.
Okay. Well, we hate to see you go, but I really appreciate the board and all your dedication and your time into trying to make the best decisions for our community.
I think like with what Tom said earlier with these conventions, if you can make it to them, there are really good classes to learn different topics that are board related, but then you can also go to wastewater classes. That way, if you want a better understanding of our process and just wastewater in general, there's good classes you can go to as well to better understand the processes and what we do here. So like
And
as far
that's
as voting,
extremely important, when we make some of these decisions.
You'll get a better appreciation for the work that we do here.
Exactly.
All of us. With your hands and what we do here is good.
and you get to have a little fun inside. So
I think it's really important because we're representing a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
We need to know what's the best thing for everybody.
Well, does anybody else have anything? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign.